What's going on, fam? Welcome to the Sam Cologne Show, aka The Messenger. So wonderful to have you here with us today. And today's topic is, and I know many of you guys heard this saying, this whole thing with when the student is ready, the teacher will appear, right? So today's topic is about that. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. But this is not like the typical way of like the way I guess we're generically taught about this. This is realizing that everything is your teacher. And the way we make that transition, we're going to get into depth on that. So let's just go. Let's start off again. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. Have you heard that before? Pretty sure you have, right? Now, if you haven't, then it's your first time today, which is perfect. And so what's different about this is what we're going to share about today is that we're not talking about one particular person or master or this. No, we're realizing that everything is our teacher. And how does that happen? How do we transition to having that realization that everything is our teacher? Is when we take personal and radical responsibility for ourselves and our actions and where we at this current time and point is because of us, because of me, because of you, 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 because of you. It's because of you is where you at right now at this point in time. And when you take personal responsibility, now you take your power back to make decisions to change your way of being. Now, when you do this, you automatically will start to become conscious of shit that you do that you were unconscious about before, right? We can go about this in a very spiritual and esoteric and metaphysical way, and we can talk about the trap, trauma, and, the loops and the patterns. But the truth is that just activating your reticular activative system, which is a scientifically proven for us how our brain works when we put our attention on something, just simply putting your attention as to I want to change and I take personal responsibility for myself, now puts you in a place where that gets activated and you start to see the things that need to be changed. And now when you take that responsibility, okay, I see what I'm doing, and you start taking the actions to change. And you also take time to review these things in your inner mind. You can call it meditation. You can call it reviewing your day, your process, the things that you do. But just taking the time to actually review these things in your inner thoughts, you'll start to see the point of inception or the time that that pattern started to live out in your life, where it came from and how you repeated it. Right? So I'm going to give you an example. Many, many, many years ago. So you're going to hear a lot of stories with me, my wife, the kids. Me and wife been together. We're going to be 20 years now in November. And I got a story for days on that, right? But in this particular case, the story that I want to share with you guys is when we're probably about like 5 years into our relationship, 5 to 6 years in. And I've always been growing up where I ironed everything. My dad always showed me, iron your pants, crease your pants, do this. Like, I was one of those kids that had the Lee jeans with the crease and the cuffs. Yeah, that was me, right? And so, like, my mom taught me how to iron, and everything was about ironing and having the crease on your sleeve so you can show that you nice and polished, right? And so I remember her offering me, hey, babe, like we were rushing. We had to go somewhere. Hey, babe, you want me to iron this shirt for you, right? And I'm like, oh, that'll be great. Just make sure you do a good job of it. She thought, I'll do my best. Okay, great. She did it. I went, I took a shower, got out, threw my pants on, tank top, deodorant, all the good stuff, lotion up. Okay, I'm about to throw on the shirt. When I go throw on the shirt, it had 2 creases on there. I lost my shit, right? Now, again, this was a long time ago, right? But I lost my shit. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, you don't know how to fucking iron? Like, now I got to walk around with a shirt with 2 creases on it, What? Nah, I can't do this. Now, give me some water. And I put water on it, and I start steaming it, and I try to fix it. Shit, I can still freaking see it, but so what? Like, it is what it is. I'm going to put this on. We're good. Let's get the hell out of here. But the whole night, I was upset about it. Now, fast forward, I would say probably 10 years after that, right? No, probably less. But let's say fast forward 7 years. I'm in the closet, right? In our bedroom, we have a walk-in closet, and in the closet, we have something that you pull out. It looks like a drawer, but it's actually, you can iron. So I pull it out, and I'm there, and I'm, spraying everything up and ironing everything and then hanging everything up, and just like the form of therapy. And I had like this download, like this image, this movie playing out of what I did to her that day. And then automatically, my mind just drew me back years when I was a little boy. And me ironing, my dad teaching me how to iron. And then this one time, because on Fridays I will iron for him and then he'll give me a few bucks, right? So I'm like, okay, I'm going to get this all done because I want the few dollars. I already had it all planned out. So I went and I ironed the pants that I know that he usually likes to wear. When it ironed his pants, I polished the shoes, left it there. He came in. I'm like, Pops, I already got all your stuff ironed, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Let me get. So he gave me, I think it was like $3 or something like that, right? So he gave me the $3, whatever. Went out with my friends, whatever, blah, blah. Then he took a shower. He calls me in like, what the fuck? You fucking ruined the pants. These are pleated pants. You can't do it like this. You can't do that. Look, you get burn marks on them. I can never take this off again. Blah, blah, blah. Like just straight chaos. Called me all types of names. You stupid book. All this shit, right? And I tied the two together. How I spoke to my wife and how my dad spoke to me that day. I never realized that I was caught up in this loop. And I was reliving this loop in so many different other ways. Because it wasn't just that I would just throw up on my wife or anybody else. It wasn't just my wife. I would just throw up. It would just come out. But that was because that's something that happened to me when I was a kid. And I didn't realize it. I was just reliving it over and over and over. Right? Now, this is where, again, realizing that everything is your teacher. Right? Me sitting there ironing, looking at myself ironing, seeing the steam, that at that point in time became my teacher. Like I didn't have, the iron didn't talk to me or the steam didn't talk to me. It wasn't like this big mystical experience didn't happen. No, it was literally because I've been working on myself. I'm now realizing old patterns and I'm realizing in the most subtlest way of just ironing. Just iron. I was just ironing. And boom, that came up. Now, what happened with that? Now, here's the other thing that you need to do if you are really serious about changing yourself and changing your life and being the person that you know in your heart you're meant to be, is take action, right? Now, when this happened, I could have just left it alone. But no, what I did, I shut off the iron. I called my wife, babe, you got a minute? And she's like, yeah, what happened? So, and I started explaining to her. I realized that blah, blah, blah. I remember back in the day when I did this and, I just had the vision of my dad doing this to me and this and that, blah, blah. And I just want you to know that I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry. And, there's this little saying that they talk about hurt people. And guess what? We all got hurt one way, one form or another. And if you are unconscious of that hurt and work through that, then you're going to do it to other people. And that's what happened. I was doing it to her. And so we had like a real heart-to-heart. And it was like, babe, I'm sorry. Like, I didn't know I was doing this to you. And I'm pretty sure when I tap into that little kid version of me that I felt that way, I'm like, I'm sorry I made you feel that way if that's the way you felt. And what happened was instantly, like waterworks, right? She's crying, I'm crying. It's like, big hug and embrace. And we let out a shitload of trauma between the both of us because it wasn't a me thing at that point. Now, that shit have rippled into my relationship with my wife. Now, that's one of many things. I'm going to give you another example. My son, Dante, we were playing this game that he made up called Stacking of the Hands. And before that, I was processing something that had to do with a project that I was doing. And in my thoughts, in my mind, I had it all figured out, but it was steps. It was like, step A, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Step B, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like, it was all play, like my typical way of thinking of things. And something inside of me, even though it looked like the perfect plan, something inside of me just wasn't feeling right. It just wasn't feeling like, yeah, this is it. And so that night I'm playing around with my son. We're on the bed and he's like, oh, let's play handstacking. Let's see who can get it up here the fastest. All right, so we start. I'm like, okay. He goes, you go first. So I'm like, all right, cool. I go. And I'm stacking my hand as fast as I can. Fast as I can, fast as I can, fast as I can. And I got it all the way to the top. I'm like, all right, little guy, you match that. And he's like, okay, you ready? I'm like, yeah, I'm ready. So he goes, 1, and he gets to the top. Now, right away, what was about to come out of my mouth, you little cheating ass motherfucker. You know, so, but then I started to think in myself, like, nobody said that there was any rules. It was said, how can we get there the fastest? And then what happened, I connected it with what it is that I was processing, which was this perfect plan that didn't feel right. And it was because I was trying to do things like everybody else. I was trying to keep rules that nobody fucking wrote. But because I saw everybody else doing it a certain way, I thought I had to do it that way as well. Following rules that nobody subjected to me but myself. And realizing that, no, if you say from here to here, that's it. All the stuff in between, that's just you putting that on yourself. And that was another learning lesson. And again, that comes from just being aware and realizing that everything is your teacher. Furthermore, I want to go a little deeper on this because it's not just about the exterior world, right? It's about what's going on inside. And as you're processing things inside, be aware of what's going on outside because that's where the magic happens, right? And also, let's go a little bit deeper on what's going on inside. When you're processing whatever it is, let's say you have a goal, right, that you want to accomplish, and you never, let's say you're somebody that never meditated. I'm going to give 2 scenarios. You're somebody that never meditated. Take the time to actually meditate. Take the time to sit down and whatever this scenario is, let it play out in your thoughts. Don't try to control anything. Just play it out. See what ideas you get. See how it makes you feel. See all these different things, right? Now, if you are on the path, who busting their ass back there? Okay. All right, back. I thought somebody was busting their ass back there. I hear, but what? If you never meditated before, right? And you now start to take the time to meditate and just do it for the specific task of, let's say, a project or something you want to accomplish. And sit in those thoughts. Let it play out. See the ideas happening and let yourself just process that. Be aware of your outside world after that. Those of you that meditate, if you haven't had this experience, be aware when you process things within or you have a visualization on something, pick a particular thing if you even want to exercise this muscle. See a particular project, see it play out, see things happening, and then be aware of how your days unravel. You will start to see that as within, so without. And now you're working with the teachers. You're working and you are humbly being a student from the world, in your inner world and your outer world. And you're seeing things transform based upon the work that you're doing inside and also based upon the work you're doing outside. Also cultivate an energy, an emotion, a vision in your inner world. And it starts to work hand in hand with each other. Now, this is important because the things that you dwell on, the thoughts that you dwell on will manifest in your life. Like this is not metaphysics. This is not no woo-woo. This is facts. Think about anything in your life that you wanted to do. Anything. It could be playing a sport. It could be getting new sneakers. Whatever it is. It all started off as a thought. You put your energy on it. If you're a kid, you beg your parents. You do whatever the hell you got to do. But you got those sneakers that you wanted. Or you got those pants that you wanted. Or, you have this job or this thing that you want to accomplish and you just put all your focus on there. And guess what? You get it. So just like Take yourself out of this thing that's like, oh, this whole manifestation, law of attraction shit. Listen, this stuff is by design, that this law of attraction and manifestation has been diluted to such a place that for you to think that it's not real. It's the same thing with all this, the Disney movies and how they do things with Disney to make it seem like it's this mystical, out of this world shit so that you can think it's not real. It's not possible. So you seeing all this manifestation, it's not an accident. It's not an accident that you're seeing it. But what I want to encourage you is that it's legit. What you think about, what you put your energy on is what you will create in your life. So being aware of this, being aware that everything is your teacher, including your thoughts, as your thoughts are processing, let's say, for example, you're walking somewhere and you happen to be dwelling on a bill or thinking about a person that you owe money to, or whatever it is, something that is not of your best interest, right? How fast does that manifest in your life? Pay attention to that. When you think about a bill, see how fast you get an alert on your bank account, or you get a text from somebody, oh, you owe this money, or when you get home, there's a bill that was unexpected. And it's because that's what you're putting your energy on. Your energy and your focus is on that, so that's what you're attracting. And realizing that everything is your teacher, when you are aware, okay, I thought about this. Like, change your thoughts right away, delete, change it, but then be aware of what happens. Be aware of what happens and let that be your confirmation for yourself. Turn your life into an experiment. See, like, don't take my word for it, but try it. Because then you're going to realize that you do have power, and your thoughts do have power, and your energy does have power, and you're going to be more careful of what it is that you allow into your thoughts. You're going to be more careful what it is that you listen to. You're going to be more careful what it is that you speak. You're going to be more careful what it is that you read. You're going to be more careful about everything, because you realize that you are co-creating with creation. It's just that simple. It's nothing hard or mystical about it. It's about you having the awareness that that's what you're doing. And when you do that, taking responsibility and taking action to do to make the changes, to actually do the things that you want to create in your life. And as those thoughts are coming up and these old negative patterns and behaviors start to arise, you are going to have the know-how on how to pivot, how to get the wisdom, extract the wisdom from the information that you're being shown so that you can move forward. And this topic can go in so many layers, because the way we work is like we have like this biological machine, right? Technology that we have. But we have the mental, and then we have our spirit. There are certain things that we work through, these patterns that we think, oh yeah, we worked through it because we spoke to a therapist about it. Oh, we worked this because you saw what happened. But there's a fine tuning that needs to happen between the thoughts, the energy, the emotions in the body. Like sometimes some things you work through and you talk it through, but your body's still holding on to that score. And it's not until you have a random feeling. It's like, fuck, I feel pissed off right now. Your body's finally metabolizing the neural peptides that happened 3 days ago. And all of a sudden you feel angry. You don't know why you feel angry, because you're not taught that everything, mind, body, spirit, is connected. But if you realize that, again, everything is your teacher, you start to see us having this conversation, me having this conversation with you guys right now is not a coincidence, right? You're watching this because you are now ready to learn. The fact that these words are coming out of my mouth, and I'm telling you that everything is your teacher, and I'm not just like being nonchalant about it. No, I'm telling you, everything is your motherfucking teacher. Everything. Pay attention to everything around you, and you'll realize that you're speaking to yourself. And you start to see that everything is talking to you. Like even, and again, this may sound esoteric. You could be outside, take a nice deep breath, and look at the tree, take a nice connecting breath and looking at the tree, and you'll learn something from that moment right there. I'm not going to tell you what you're going to learn, but I'm telling everything is a teaching moment. Having that connection with mind, body, and spirit, and realizing everything that's going on around you is you speaking to you. Start making those changes little by little. Have that experiment with yourself. And if you one of those people, like I like to have partners and stuff, right? And so like if you're one of those people that like to work this out with people, get a partner, get a friend, get your spouse. If your spouse ain't down with this, get a brother, get a sister, get somebody that you can have fun with this. Don't make it serious. Don't make it like, oh my gosh, I gotta be in meditation. Don't, because one thing that I realized during my path, that we can make shit so fucking serious that you lose passion for life. And you get to a point as you're learning and as you are unraveling and you start to see that this illusion that we live in is fucking bullshit, the shit that's been done to you, you can take it so serious that one, you can get either extremely angry and completely withdraw from life, or you can get disinterested and completely withdraw from life, and you lose the passion for life. So do not get yourself so serious. It's not serious. Life is supposed to be fun and actually simple. And when you realize this connection that you have with everything that is, you can start having that fun again. You can get yourself in a place where you no longer are like this overstressed person, like, I have to do this, I have to. No, you don't have to do. First of all, you don't have to do shit. Literally, you don't have to do shit. You don't even have to breathe if you don't want to. You might die, but you don't have to do that shit neither, right? So you literally don't have to do anything. But the things that you do, I'm inviting you, you make the choice to do them. Don't let these thoughts control you. Don't let the things that you do be unconscious. Consciously make the decisions to do the things that you do. And everything that I spoke about before, learning that everything is your teacher, will equip you with this wisdom and this knowledge for then you to shift it and then start making decisions based upon your choice, based upon what it is that you want to create, based upon what it is that you are learning, what you're co-creating with the creation and creator. Like, these things are so important for you to have a totally balanced and fulfilled and holistic life. Because if not, quite honestly, I know so many people that are extremely successful, air quotes, successful in their field, right? They're successful in whatever business they have, wealthy, they got the house, they have the cars, they have all, but their relationship with their spouse sucks. Their relationship with their children sucks. Their relationship with life sucks. Their relationship with spirit sucks. They're like, and I'm not trying to put them down. I'm not saying, oh, you have money, all this shit is going to suck. No, because I have friends also that are wealthy and they have a good relationship with their wife and they have a good relationship with their children. They have a good relationship with themselves. So I'm not saying like having success in your individual business or whatever it is that your endeavors are is a bad thing. What I'm saying is for you to look at everything as holistically. Look at things as a whole. Don't look at everything like, oh, just success, because that's all you see on TV, because that's all you see on your Instagram reels, because that's all you see on everything. And guess what? You see that, the only thing you see, because that's what you chose unconsciously. You thinking that you're like, oh, this person popped. No, unconsciously, you saw something that you thought that you wanted. Therefore, you went and you clicked and you started following this person. And now this person now pops up on your feed. But did you really sit down and consciously make the decision to say, this is what I want? This is what I want in my relationships with my kids. This is what I want in my relationship with my wife or my husband. This is what I want in my relationship with my business and my partner. This, like, you, truly, you. Not what you saw on Instagram, on a reel, what some guru said, because they sold their business for, $2 billion. Now they have the authority to freaking speak upon how you want to run your life. And no, nobody does. The only body that has that choice is you. This body right here has the choices for me. Your body, your choices. You make the decisions. What it is you want to create in your life. And remember that everything is connected. Your mind, your body, and your spirit. And everything that you're learning, everything is your teacher. As you learn it, allow yourself to process through your mind, through your body, and through your spirit. And as I'm explaining this to you, I want to give you an example before we wrap up the show today. Mind, body, spirit example. Now, one of the ways that I've seen this happen so beautifully is like people do breath work, right? When people do like these holotropic breath work where they get themselves into a heightened state, they over-oxygenate their cells, they disconnect from the crazy chatter, they allow themselves to step into their energetic field, and boom, a memory comes up. Now we're working on the mind, right? An old traumatic memory comes up. This old traumatic memory comes up instantly. There's no disconnection happening here because of the state that they have put themselves in. They're not caught up in all the shit they got to do. They just literally got oxygen high, right? So they're in this place. Boom, the memory comes up. They see the memory. It all plays out. Boom, all of a sudden they have a pain on their left side, and they feel it. And they're like, oh my gosh, what is it? And they have this urge to yell, ah! And they're yelling and they're squirming and all this stuff is moving through. We went from the mind, now we're in the physical. And once they purge all that yell and they get it all out, they get into like this relaxed state and they start to feel the energy. You can do this yourself, but if you're in a space, typically this is what it looks like when somebody's facilitating. And when you get into that space where now you're letting go and you're feeling the energy, now you're in spirit. And when you're in spirit and that energetic field, you get this sense of satiation, of knowing and gratitude, right? So you're not looking at that one traumatic thing as this bad thing anymore. You get all the 360-degree angle on it. And that's when your spirit now feels good about it, right? Because your mind, you could talk it through. You can let out all the logistics or logical way of like how this was good, how this was that, but you still have score in the body. But when you work down into the body, you'll feel it. You'll feel if it was anger, if it was pain, if it was whatever the hell it was, you're going to feel it and your body's going to expel it. And then from there, you go into the energetic field. You start to feel it in the spirit. And when you see the angles of that one thing that you just processed, 360 degrees, you see how it affected you, how it affected everybody else. You can see the beauty and the appreciation and the reverence of everybody that played that part to create that thing. Now your spirit is satisfied. Woo! I just got chills because that's beautiful when you realize the reverence that everybody played in that particular thing for you to learn that lesson. And it could be the most horrifying shit in your life. Like I was explaining, I'm gonna share something with you guys. I lost my mother in 2007 to a shooting, right? And I was sharing with my wife. We was having a conversation not too long ago, and we were talking. What came up in the conversation? How are you supposed to have appreciation for somebody that did you wrong? And then I use the example of like the person who shot my mother. Now, I'm not saying that this person is a great person and this and that in their conscious living form. But what I told her, I was like, let's just go on like a mind exploration here, right? Let's take down the parameters and the borders around what we think is reality. And we look at everybody as a reflection of ourselves, and we see God within everybody. Do you know how hard on a soul spirit level it was for that being to commit to the role to pull that trigger in order for me to have that enlightened moment? Because my journey started once I found out my mom got shot. Like the numbness, the energy that I felt, and all the stuff that was happening to me, that it just made me dive deep into what reality is, what life is, what God is, what's this, what's it. And if it wasn't for that person, would I even be here sharing with you right now? And so having a sense of reverence for this person that decided to play, this being, I'm not even going to say person, this being that decided to play this role as a collective agreement for me to have what just happened at that point in time. Do you understand that? And all the subsequent things that happened from there, because there's been so many fruits that came from such a tragic moment. And I miss my mother. I connect with her a lot. So it's not like we're detached in a way where I don't connect. I do connect with her. And there's ways that if anybody does want to learn how to connect with their people in that unseen world, we can talk about that. Just comment below. But there's such reverence in these people that we call enemies. These people that we say, oh, they're bad people, they're this. And again, I'm not talking about the character, their unconscious character that they're playing right here. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about them in a spiritual being level. This is a commitment that in this collective agreement that we're creating this reality, this container that's being projected through us. And so, like, just having a different sense of a different set of lens when you're looking at things in this way, that comes from a spirit level. If you are going from your logical or your physical, there's no fucking way that you're going to accept that into your heart. There's no way. You're going to be like, fuck you. The moment I see this motherfucker, I'm going to put 2 in his shit. Like, that's the way that we operate logically, physically, emotionally. Like, that's the first thing that you're saying. The moment this person get off from his bed, I'm putting 2 in his ass. That's it. There is no fucking talking, right? But when you get into a different state of spirit, when you can see what's not visible to most, and that's by choice. Like, when you make the choice and you want to see, you will see. And when you start to see what the whole, the collective, the universal, the cosmos, the macrocosmos, you start to look at everything, you won't be attached to something like that. And I know it seems like, why you're not attached to, like, you will not. You have a sense of peace that surpasses all understanding. And I know it might sound cheesy because there's a quote from the Bible, but it's the truth. You will have a peace that surpasses all understanding. And it will click for you, and you will see everything in 360 degrees in such a way that will change the way you see the world, that will change the way you see people, that changes the way you see good and bad. Good and bad. Good and bad. Like, there's no good and bad. But that's another one. That's another episode. But again, bringing this all back in, my beautiful people, when you are ready, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear and realize that everything is your motherfucking teacher. And your life will change. All right, familia, sending you so much love. Until next time, God bless. Peace.